Great Wednesday morning. Today we're talking about how everything we do is to either gain pleasure or avoid pain. Alright, so today we're talking about avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. So this last weekend, Thursday through Sunday, I got the opportunity to attend the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event. It was an event that last December I said I wanted to attend sometime this year. A flight I canceled earlier this year. So Chicago was the one that I went to last weekend. If you aren't familiar with the event, it's about 7,500 people on level 10. It's one of those motivational, more transformational than motivational, but great event where we spent 55 plus hours together just learning about how we work and ways to break through and just pretty much get to the goals and the achievements and all the things that you want to achieve in your life. But today I want to talk about one thing that Tony discussed that I thought was pretty powerful. He talked about how everything we do in life is either to avoid pain or gain pleasure. So if you think about everything that you achieved in the past or everything that you want to do, he took us through a process where if you link pain to not achieving what you want to achieve, you have a better chance of getting it or reaching it because you're being pulled by that goal instead of being pushed by it. So a few videos or a few weeks ago, I talked about how for my goals for 2015, I always look at December and think about like what would December feel like if I didn't reach the goals that I said I wanted for myself this year. I said that I didn't want to have another December where I look back and was like, damn, like I didn't achieve, I didn't get done the things that I wanted to accomplish. So he had us go through a process. It's hard to explain it. You can't really explain it. It's like Neil Armstrong explaining what it felt like to walk on the moon. It's just something that you would have to be there. But for a moment, I just want you to think about some of the things that you want to achieve this year or in life and consider what's the worst things that can happen if you don't achieve that goal. Like, how will you feel? What kind of people will be around you? Like, what is the worst thing that could happen? So, for example, let's just say weight loss, for example. It could be, you're not around to see your grandkids. It could be that you're sick. It could be that you die early. I mean, depending on whatever your goals is, I want you to consider, like, what happens or what could be the outcome if you didn't achieve that thing? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And when you start thinking through those things, so for me, I want to speak to students. I want to speak to pretty much high school and college students. And I realize how many college students and high school students are struggling with things throughout those 4 years, and things that if they don't handle during those years could spin off into their life, which could really affect their way of living in their future. So for me, if I don't use my God-given talents, then there's the potential for people to be depressed or die in general. So that's what I'm using, or that's just one of the things I'm using to pull me to my goal instead of being pushed by it. When you're pushed through your goal, it's hard to get it done because, like he says, willpower is something that doesn't last forever. I mean, think about any goal that we try to achieve. In the beginning, we're hyped, we're ready to go, but then after a few days or a few weeks, we're looking like, I don't feel like getting up, or I don't feel like going to the gym, or I don't feel like reading, or whatever your goal might be. But when you're pulled by that goal, when you're pulled by that purpose, it's a lot easier to get it done and make it happen. So today I want you to think about whatever your goal is. I don't care if it's career-wise, I don't care if it's weight loss, I don't care if it's relationships, whatever that might be. What is the worst possibilities, or what are the worst outcomes that could happen if you didn't achieve it? Because a lot of times, y'all, we're linking fear to our goals. Like, we're linking, a lot of times we're not doing things because we're fearful. That's like the number one thing that's stopping most of us is fear. Once you break through that fear and you realize that the outcome, if you don't push through that fear, is worse off for you and the people around you and the people you're trying to affect, you're pulled by your goal and you're easily able to get it done. So think about that, y'all. Wish you the best in your week. And peace. And as always, I'll meet you at the top because the bottom is getting way too crowded, y'all. Have a good week and bye-bye.